Okay, Abraham, we've heard you say that our vibration is where we last left it on any one item. And I've also heard you say that everything is like a two-ended stick, where what we want is on one end and what we don't want is on the other. And if we have one thing going really well in our lives and 10 things that aren't, and we focus on the one thing that is, the other things will help resolve themselves. So how do those two things fit together if where our vibration was on those?
Because by focusing on the end of the stick of the one that felt good, you practiced that vibration and made it dominant and changed the vibration on all things. We see what you're saying. Your vibration is where you last left it, but you did some work. You didn't leave your vibration there. You found other things that caused your vibration to rise. And so now, from a having risen vibration, now you are approaching those other things and they look entirely different. We get your point, and so we'll clarify this. There are 10 things and 9 of them aren't going well, and one of them is, let's say. So you meditate and clear your mind, and you're able to find that one thing that feels good, and you're calibrating to it, and your vibration is rising. And while your vibration is rising, anything else you focus upon, you're seeing from that vantage point. So now, as you're approaching any of those other 9 subjects from this vantage point of feeling better, all of those 9 subjects are different to you because they are now under the influence of this rather than under the influence of something else. And so for as long as you stay there, anything that you ponder from that place of having a raised vibration changes, or at least your perspective of it changes. You see, your point of attraction changes. You have a point of attraction, and it doesn't matter what has caused it to activate. It is your point of attraction as long as it's activated. So as you practice that higher vibration, then more and more things that used to bother you don't bother you. It's just like just now in the pages that we were doing, our friend had just had a situation that was really bothering her, and when she went general, it didn't bother her as much. She calibrated it that quickly. So at the same time she calibrated that, nothing was bothering her in that moment, you see.
So how about our first friend who said he was feeling really good, and then he's got this vibration about that person that he's got going on, and then he's good in this good place, and then there.
But he hadn't been standing over there long enough. That's what we're saying. You got to get your sea legs. Once you do this enough, you get to the point where the conditions just don't bother you. That's what unconditional love is. You're so connected to who you really are. You see, you got to accept that there are always going to be those things in the world that you don't want to be there. Jesus said the poor will be with us always, because you live in a variety of contrast for the purpose of joyous expansion. And so when you get it, that there will always be contrast, and that the contrast is really a positive thing, not a negative thing, because it inspires the next desire, and you have control over where you sit in it because you've been paying attention to your own guidance system, then in time, when things are out of whack for whatever reason, you walk into them, you don't crumble and die. Esther and her wonderful assistant were making their way here, and they went via another city and spent a couple of days in another location, and their plan was to come over here on Friday. And so Esther started just getting sort of antsy about it, and they were in Utah, was snowing, and even though the driveways were clear and the roadways were too, the snow was coming down, and Esther made the assumption, it was a kind of a path of least resistance thought, that the reason for her discomfort was that she was worried about the snow and didn't want to get herself in a situation where she couldn't get here easily. So she just said, let's just leave a day early. And when they got here, they discovered the hotel under construction, which was not known to them, and that not only was it under construction, it's mostly not even available. The meeting room, which is what matters most, was. And so it was a shock, a jolt, but not the end of the world. It was unpleasant and uncomfortable until they both sort of kicked into, what are we going to do about it next? you don't know how much happened in 2 days. So you don't know the miracle that took place in the readying it for you, but it was possible because things are always working out. So Esther did a little introspection, and she will do more about it. How did I get up against this? How did I walk into this? Why did I not see that coming? Which leads to something else that's been stuck in her vibrational craw for a while. In other words, this is a manifestation of something else that has really been bothering her. Something that she left right where it was. Something that she kept being bothered by and not tending to and not acknowledging and not dealing with and not recalibrating about. So it's the perfect way to say to all of you, if you've got something going on that's bothering you a bit and you don't do something about putting it into a better feeling place, don't worry, it will get bigger. And if you still don't do something about it, don't worry, it will get bigger. Of course, there's nothing that cannot be improved, but sometimes the amount of improvement that you need can't happen in the time that you've got. And that's why we're talking so much about getting out ahead of it. Do the work of calibrating. Don't feel something is out of whack and then just walk away from it. In other words, if something's out of whack and it's essential to your experience and to your lifestyle or to your work or to your business, and if it's out of whack, calibrate it. Don't ignore it. Calibrate it. And as you do, the entire world will become your cooperative component, you see. Life is supposed to be good for you, and you're supposed to get what you want, and you're not supposed to walk into situations that are not pleasing to you. And yet, as physical beings, you put up with things and you endure things and you accept things less than what you want. And when you do, you just get more of what you do not want. What makes you shy about being picky about what you want? You feel spoiled. You don't want to spoil yourself. Well, we want you to. We want you to calibrate to the very best of what you've asked for and let the universe deliver it to you, because it certainly has the capability of doing that. This is a really good time for segment of refreshment.